Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 226 for Tuesday, the 1st of October 2024. I'm your host, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me today is...
I'm not illegally downloading Linkin Park albums, it's Nick.
Sensei Switch, as per usual.
Nick, are you living in the early 2000s? Late 90s,
I'm on
early 2000s?
LimeWire, mate.
LimeWire.
LimeWire, I think.
It's only because you reminded me of... God, it must have been the very early 2000s, maybe 2001, 2002, where I did exactly that.
Well, no, I can get, which actually this week, because I went away, we were driving like to Nottingham and things like that. Beautiful, raining for 4 days Nottingham, which is fair enough. And I actually had, what was it, Apple Android, or no, what was it, Android Auto on my car, and I've used that for the first time.
Ooh.
And you can get all Spotify up on it. So I'm like, oh, this is great. It's like the radio, but the songs are good and not crap. But where I work, there's barely any signal at all, so I just put everything on an old iPod.
Old school.
It and stuff.
Old
Very
school,
old
mate,
school.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but when that says like buffer, you know, I mean, look, where I work is literally in the middle of nowhere, and you can barely get 3G, let alone 4G or 5G.
Does your work not have any Wi-Fi that you can hook up to then?
My work's let us use Wi-Fi. Bloody hell. Our boss is up in his ivory tower. He won't let us use Wi-Fi.
Oh, right, okay.
That's Wi-Fi for him. He got one of those electric charging ports for his like 140 grand Range Rover, and just one just for him. I'm like, oh, fair enough.
Nice. Isn't that nice?
Well, it's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he could do. I don't think he can do anything about us being in the middle of nowhere with like really bad phone signal, can he? But
no, but he could let you on the Wi-Fi. But
nice.
There we go.
If only I could steal Wi-Fi from work and I knew the password, but nobody else knows it.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, but you have to go outside to get that, and it's cold.
All right. I'm not putting lipstick on. I'm having to put on some lip balm for those people watching.
Yeah,
I've got really dry lips.
Oh, it's because you've been kissing all weekend, must be.
Yeah, I wish. Anyway, this week's been a busy week, actually, gaming-wise and personal-wise. So if you're listening live in the pre-show stuff, I was talking about, went to the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth concert at the Royal Albert Hall yesterday, which was Saturday, which was really, really good. Loads of cosplayers this time, probably the most cosplayers I've seen going to one of those concerts, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good. The music was great. The merch was way overpriced as usual, even though I bought 2 T-shirts, one for me and the missus, and they were 30 quid each.
That ain't bad, mate. I mean,
that's not bad.
Fun, and they were 30, 40 quid for like a little independent band. So
Right.
a big thing like that. Were they good quality T-shirts? Or
Yeah,
they're
they were all right. They're all right. I'd say they're all right. They had a load of the Square Enix store merch there. Didn't buy any of it because it was like a tenner cheaper just to order it off their website. So, but I did buy the orchestral CD from there to listen.
CD?
To listen in the car on the way home because I haven't got my electric car yet. I'm still rocking my really old Ford Focus. It actually has a CD player in it, so we listened to the CD on the way home.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's the 14 orchestral.
No, 7.
Oh, right.
It was 7 Rebirth orchestral soundtrack.
Ah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Can you believe music's gone all digital? It's a good job games aren't headed that way, isn't it?
Well, I was just saying to the missus, said, because when we get the new car, it's not going to have a CD player. I'm going to have to go old school and get one of those like portable CD players with like a USB attachment. Do you remember in the old days? Like I remember I had, was it an old Golf when it had a cassette player, and I had one of those CD players that I'd like put on the dashboard, and it had like the tape thing on a wire, and you put it into the cassette thing. You remember them?
I just imagine you like in Wayne's World at the start where they're playing Bohemian Rhapsody with the CD player on top of the dashboard.
Yes, too right, but listening to hard house and trance instead of rock.
Or you could just listen to Spotify.
See, I'm not a fan of Spotify. I don't have it because I'm kind of really gone off subscriptions. I've cancelled my Netflix. I'm umming and ahhing over Amazon at the minute because I don't really order as much anymore. And we have Disney Plus through my mobile phone contract, and the kids use that all the time. But that's it. That's all we've got.
Plus, they keep upping like the subscriptions to like more tiers and stuff. So like,
It's because they don't make money off advertising, and that's where a lot of the money comes from.
yeah, but they said if you pay a subscription, you don't have to have advertising. But then they want it both now, don't they? So.
Well, the thing is with Spotify,
because it's not sustainable.
Yeah, the problem with Spotify is if you don't pay for it, you get an advert after 2 or 3 songs. And
yeah, I did notice that this weekend, but it was fun because we were talking about Uber Eats, and that was just like I was making fun of their accent because they were like Birmingham instead of Birmingham. So I just thought it was really fun. So
and to pay for Spotify is quite expensive. It's like £15 a month, isn't it?
I thought it was a tenner, but I bet they got tiers and stuff like Game Pass. I think like maybe it's a tenner for basic, and then 15 if you want the new albums. If not, you can't get the new stuff for 6 months, because that's the sort of thing they keep doing, don't they? They bring out all these I think you posted it in the WhatsApp a while ago, Webby. Like there's that guy who was talking about subscriptions on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you posted it in there.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it's like they get you in with a subscription and then they alter the subscription and want you to pay more for the subscription. But instead of adding stuff to it, they keep taking stuff away and want to charge you more to get the same stuff back. It's just...
Yeah. So actually I was wrong. The premium's £12 a month for one account, and then it's £17 a month for 2 people. And then a family one is £20.
He's been with his mate, but he set it up when he was at school, and he's still getting it for free off his mate's account. And he's 27, and he ain't seen his mate for over 10 years. And he's still getting it for free. So.
Wow. Yeah, St. Adams has just said that him and a few mates pay £20 for the premium family plan, but split it 5 ways. So if you got 4 mates, I guess you could do it that way. I mean, I did have it when I was a student with the Open U University, because it's only £6 a month. I think it was less than that then, though. It's been a few years now since I was a student, so...
It's just, I don't know, they just think they keep losing people, so they think, well, we'll put the prices up. That'll counterbalance it, but then they just keep losing more people. But it depends if you're really big into your music. Is there anything else? I mean... Apple Music hasn't got as much as Spotify. Amazon Music's just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really listen to a lot of music anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. But again, you know, it's all cost, isn't it? You know, you've got subscriptions for everything now, and it's just trying to... I know you don't have Game Pass or anything, so you're kind of...
Well, I've got Netflix, Amazon Prime... and probably other things I've forgotten I need to check, but it's just what everything is. Everything's paid monthly, everything's subscription-based, and I think that's how they do it. You know, you see it's only a little amount a month, but you add that over the course of 12... Yeah, you add that over the course of 12 months, you're like, bloody hell, I'm paying all that for that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm umming and ahhing over me PS Plus at the minute, because it runs out in December, and I'm kind of like, well, I don't really use it.
Oh, you don't want to spend like 70 or 80 quid to fucking play online.
I know, but the problem is, it's like, we use it every so often, but then if I don't have it at all, then I won't be able to play, say, Helldivers if I fancy playing it, or Gran Turismo 7. So I'm kind of like, well, what am I going to do come December? I don't know, to be fair, because it's quite expensive, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, they've gone up. It used to be what, £40 a year, and then you'd always get it on CD keys for like 22, 24. And now I think both of them. I think PlayStation put it up, and then Xbox did the same. And was it 70 for just the basic PlayStation or Xbox, whatever?
I don't think you can even get PlayStation. I don't know if you can get. Oh yeah, you can. So on CD keys. Oh no, they stopped doing it. It says all sold out. I'm guessing they've stopped doing it now.
Yeah, but you can't buy anything on PlayStation through a CD key.
No,
They
it all has
everything.
has to be on.
No, I noticed they stopped selling Plus like the PlayStation memberships and stuff on a lot of websites because they'll just sell the credit because they'll only do it through their own thing, which means they get to dictate what price it is.
Mm.
Is they're all greedy scum?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so I'm currently on premium and it runs out 12th of December and then it says to renew it'll be 120 quid because I'm on the premium.
Make sure you're not on auto renew.
No,
because I've stopped off by that last year.
And double check, mate, the day or two before go on because I mean we've had this before, haven't we? Where PlayStation's done an update and turned it back on. I think they done me and they done you, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
but I say the reason I did it last time is because there was a sale. It was like it wasn't a Black Friday sale, but it was a sale, and I think I paid like 70 or 80 or something.
Yeah,
like
every
that.
time they used to do a state of play thing, they used to like do the controllers cheap and have some offers, didn't they? But not anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know, but we shall see. Anyway, so apart from that, big into on other Final Fantasy talk. I ordered a new chair this week, and it arrived. I'm sitting on it right now. If you can see just a little bit of it, it's hard because more the way my camera is.
Can't see. Your butt is on it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's on the big screen. Anyway, Secret Lab, my first Secret Lab chair. It's amazing. It's a Secret Lab Titan Evo, Final Fantasy 14 design. So my last chair that I've still got, actually, I've given it to my boys. It's a GT Omega, and I work from home, so I was sitting in this about 10 hours a day, and I was starting to get a bit of a butt ache and all that sort of shit. And a few of my mates have bought these Secret Lab chairs, and they're quite pricey, 520 quid. But apparently very comfy, and if you're sitting in a chair all day, you want to be comfy, right? So I was like,
every chair gets uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah, but I was like, well, it says Final Fantasy on it, so that's ticked one box to me already. And then obviously a lot of people have said that they're comfy, so I was like, I'll order it, and it's really fucking awesome. You can see it there. It's got like the whole cool design on the back of the tower from 14, and the front's says the name, and it has like a little the logo on the top right, and you can got these little magnets that can go on it as well. And then I've got a big pillow and it's magnets, which is really cool. So it just magnetizes onto the back of the chair, and you just like lean back and it's comfy. So yeah, first premium gaming chair. Sorry, mate.
So you can stick disc plates on it because it's magnets.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. No, it's really cool. So because I know, like, one of my mates, Dave, he bought one of these chairs a few years ago. He got the Cyberpunk one, and that looks really cool. So they do loads of them, but yeah, this Final Fantasy one is very, very cool. So yeah, I've been very into Final Fantasy this week. So I'm probably going to resubscribe to 14 tomorrow and jump back on there. And then the wife wants to resub, but when we're in the midst of a decision because she was playing it on PlayStation, but now it's on Xbox. Might just pick up the version on the Xbox because it has all of the expansions, and you get 30 days of it as well. So we might just buy that, and then she can get some Chivos as well while she's playing it. So
what? Start again?
No, because it's the same account. On the PlayStation she's only bought up to, I think, Stormblood expansion wise. So if we could to buy the other expansion separate, it would probably cost more than just buying this version on Xbox that has all of the expansions included anyway. So we shall see, because obviously if I decide not to renew my PlayStation Plus, I don't know if you can play online with it without PlayStation Plus. I don't know.
No, you don't need PS Plus with it.
Okay.
Because you're already paying a subscription.
So the 14 online complete edition on Xbox is 45 quid. And it has all of the expansions, all of them: Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawn Trail. So for 45, that's not bad. So I don't know, we'll see, because she's itching to get back onto it. So we'll see.
So if you log in on Xbox and you think, well, and you've done all this stuff, will just all the achievements just unlock because you've
I don't know.
it?
It'd be cool if it did, though, right?
I think it kind of worked that way in the PS5 upgrade from the PS4.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of, certain ones will pop.
Because it knows what
as
you've
soon
done.
As you, As soon as you do a kill, it'll be like, oh, right, yeah, you've done X amount of kills, etc. The only ones that kind of don't are the ones for doing all the different raids, like the 24-man ones or the 8-man ones.
Right, okay.
You have to redo those for them to pop.
So, yeah. Very cool. So there's that, and obviously I'll just briefly mention again the Royal Albert Hall, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth concert was really, really good. Did some really good tracks on there. Then they're doing Distant Worlds in March, which is all the Final Fantasies as well, at the Apollo, so that should be quite cool. I always love going to those things. I just love the music of video games, and this is kind of my favourite franchise, so yeah. All good. So yeah, it's been a busy week this week then. So we had the PlayStation State of Play, which I actually thought was pretty decent. I know I did see a few people saying, oh, it was not great, but I thought, a lot of the games that they showed were really cool, to be fair. So tell me if I miss anything, Darren, because I don't know if you watched it. Did you, Nick?
I watched it live. Yeah.
I watched like the last 20 minutes and then flicked through trailers the next morning.
That's fair enough.
I was busy.
Fair enough. So first of all, they showed some free DLC coming to Astrobot, which I'm really excited about because Astrobot this week is my first platinum trophy on PlayStation. Actually,
what? Not even Spider-Man?
Well, I've played the first one and Spider-Man, Miles Morales, but not 2.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, got me and my boy put about 40, 50 hours into Astrobot since it come out. Absolutely love it. So yeah, there's 10 new robots to find from different franchises. I think I've noticed Stellar Blade in there and Helldivers, which is super cool. And some really funky new levels. Just a little bit of Astrobot playing wise. I think I mentioned it last week. Like those fucking levels with the buttons, triangle, circle, X, and square levels. They're short, sweet levels, but they're rock solid. Oh my god, mental. So yeah, as soon as this popped up, I just got really excited because I think it's one of my favourite exclusive games on the PlayStation. So
did they say when the DLC's coming out?
I didn't see a date on there. No, it just says fall 2024. So any time between now and Christmas, I guess.
When they feel they've got a dry period, they'll just pull it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So cool. I just wanted to mention that. Then they showed a game called The Midnight Walk. Do you remember this one, Darren? Nick?
No.
So it's all looks kind of like claymation style.
Oh, yeah, I do know this one, yeah. This looked good, actually.
Yeah, I thought this looked really interesting. From the creators of Lost in Random, which is a really interesting game as well, if you've not played that. I've played that a little bit. But yeah, the game is all handcrafted in clay. And it's basically like really weird characters, like pot heads and all that sort of stuff, really weird creatures. Didn't really give away too much of it, though, to be fair. It looked like it might be first person, though. and it just looks a bit freaky.
Look like no. I think it's one of those games where everyone at first was like, "Oh, it's a VR game," and then they were kind of cutting between the VR version and the standard version because you can get it and play it either way. And I was like, I liked that because obviously you had things like Concrete Genie, that did that exact same thing.
Oh, now I'm seeing gameplay where it's third person and you're like a pothead character, so, yeah. I think it looked interesting. And just touching on the VR, Darren, it was actually quite nice to see, we'll get into it in a minute, but there was quite a few VR games shown as well, wasn't there? Which I thought was pretty cool. So, yeah. And this was one of them that has both options. But no, I think it looks like a really interesting little game, and it's nice to see something new, fresh, something different, you know? So, yeah, looks interesting. And then the next game, which I really like the look of, Hell Is Us. What did you think of this? Do you remember this one, Nick?
Nope.
What?
No, I missed the first 20 minutes, mate, and I told you I watched that last 20 minutes and I watched whatever trailers were on YouTube. I didn't see this one.
Oh, Darren, do you remember this one at all?
Yeah, it started off really weird. I thought it was going to be like based on like a fictional like war.
Yeah.
It obviously is, but it's more of a sort of like supernatural kind of thing by the looks of things.
Yeah, very supernatural. Like, as you say, like it starts off, it looks like a war zone type area, and then you see these weird, like white, weird, like creatures that look like human forms. They've got like big holes for faces.
Activists, right?
But yeah, so it's
they look human, but they're not.
Yeah, it kind of like. Look, it kind of reminded me a little bit of just the way it looks of Death Stranding, just the way it looks, if that makes sense, in that third-person perspective and the cloak the character's wearing. And it's quite futuristic with, like, drones and stuff like that. Mixed with, not Alan Wake, what was the other Alan Wake game with that girl? Control, yes. A bit like a mixture of them in a weird way. But I think it looks really interesting. I'm sold on this just from the trailer, to be fair. So, yeah. Anything else you want to mention on that?
It looks interesting.
I think it does. I think it looks really interesting. I think there's no release date on this. And, but no, it looks really cool. So, yeah. Where was I? And I'm not sure if that's just on PlayStation or it's coming. Oh, it is coming to Xbox. Okay, that's
cool.
I'm going to get tweet while we forget the Xbox tweet where they just mentioned pretty much most of the games and said, by the way, these are still coming to Xbox.
Yeah,
they do that all the time. It's just them being.
Oh yeah, they both do it to each other. I just thought it's hilarious.
Yeah, I actually screen grabbed it and put it in my notes because I'm going to mention all the games that they put out on that picture that are also coming to Xbox because I think it's good to know what's on both, isn't it? So, yeah, that's awesome. Okay, the next one that they showed was Metro Awakening, which is a VR title.
Yep.
I mean, I obviously don't have a VR headset. I'll get the sickness and all that. However, I'm a huge fan of the Metro games, and this looks really good. And I think Darren will be picking this up for his VR too.
Well, it depends if it's physical or not.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because like, there's so many VR to get. There's quite a few VR games out for the PlayStation, just hardly any physical copies.
Right, okay.
Aaron, is it just, like, physical, not at all? But if this was, like, 15 quid, would you pick it up, or is it just no digital at all?
No, I've got principles, mate.
That's fair enough.
Wow.
If you don't want to release it physical, I'll just do without.
Fair dues, mate.
I didn't buy Call of the Mountain because like even Sony couldn't be bothered to put out a physical copy of that. That should have actually been a warning sign that they couldn't be bothered to put out their big first-party game as a physical copy for PlayStation VR.
Well,
especially when you get like indie developers and like smaller developers putting out their games on VR in physical form.
Interesting.
It just reminded me a little bit of old Phil Spencer's thing of like, oh yeah, we still believe in physical games, and then like Hellblade 2 comes out and it's digital only. It's like, and it's Microsoft's first party. You're like, all right, so that was a fucking lie.
But no, this is. I don't think there's even a release date on this, from what I've seen either.
November, I think, for Metro.
Okay. Oh yeah, November 7th. Yeah, I missed it on the trailer as I was chatting to you guys. So yeah, it looks cool. It's been published by Deep Silver, so I'll be surprised if there wasn't a physical, to be fair.
It might be not. Like, it might even just come a little later down the line.
Yeah.
That seems to be another bullshit fucking thing that they've started doing a lot now. It's been that way in the film industry for a while, where they're basically slowly trying to force you to go digital.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, right, I mean, I've been a big proponent of streaming my films or downloading them, whatever, but I actually found my Ultra HD Blu-ray version of Ready Player One today. So I decided to watch it for the first time in ages, and I was actually blown away by how good the quality was on that compared to like the 4K downloads I've been getting, because this is obviously the Ultra HD. Because you got normal Blu-rays which are 4K, but then you got these black cases which are like the Ultra HD, the Ultra 4K. So I've got both the discs in. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go online and order some more 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays now, because
just beware that they've changed the box shape. So if you like that version of the disc case, then they're not like that anymore.
I don't care about what the case looks like. I know I'm not as anal as you, mate, but so I don't mind.
I just like things neat, and like if it's all in a row on your shelf or whatever, it just all wants to look the same.
I know what you mean.
Pickledy and horrible.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, next game then, which looks fucking awesome, and I really this is going to be a day one for me. Archage Chronicles. Hadn't really seen much of this before this trailer, to be fair. I think it just looks very fantastical, third person kind of combat with magic and all that, kind of like what Dragon Age should be. You know what I mean? High
Dragon
fantasy,
Age, but not made for a modern audience.
Yes. So I'm trying to be politically correct as I can here. It did remind me a little bit of the trailer. It did reminded me a little bit of kind of the Witcher's world, of just that high fantasy, seeing all those really nice old school buildings, in that medieval time span. But then the combat looked very fast and fluid, like a proper action third person fighting game. A little bit like how the Final Fantasy series has gone with that fast combat, but obviously without the menus. I think it looks really cool because it looked like it's got like a barbarian and an elf in there and different classes.
Yeah,
and all
I'm not
that.
too sure what country developer it is.
I'm not sure either.
I remember first seeing this trailer when it was, well, not this exact trailer, but like the first time I saw it was when it was obviously being shown off, because it's a PC game that's basically coming to consoles as well.
It's being made by, I just saw it, it's just gone. Kakio Games and XL Games. That's all it says. I don't, Yeah. Age Chronicles. It's coming to everything. And actually, I did wanted to pick something up on this as well before we talk about some more Archage. It's coming to everything, including Xbox One and PS4. And that's kind of a running theme. A lot of the games shown at this PlayStation event are also coming out on PS4, which blows me away a little bit because...
Which is not good.
Yeah, because how many years...
Whichever way you look at it. I mean, it's good that games are still coming out on it.
Yeah.
But then you're talking about certain games being held back.
Yeah.
By old hardware where they're like, oh, well, we can't really do that because we wouldn't be able to do it in the older versions of the game. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Xbox are doing the same thing with Series S and even original Xbox. I don't think they've had many games that are only Series X and S, have they?
No.
I mean, by now, we'd
not
expect
loads.
like FIFA to be like that, wouldn't we?
Yeah. So yeah, I found that quite interesting. But no, this Archage looks really cool. It really does. Because I've been looking like I do like those kind of high fantasy type games, and I mean we might as well talk about it now anyway. Since talking about it, they showed off some gameplay of the new Dragon Age, and I'm a huge fan of Dragon Age franchise. I've loved all the games, even though the last one it pissed me off a little bit when do you remember you went to a certain NPC. And it was like, oh, you can't have this quest unless you buy the DLC. It started to go a little bit downhill from there, to be honest. But the stories and that have always been pretty cool, and the characters, the way they look and all that have always been decent. Whereas everything I've seen from this just doesn't appeal to me. And at first, I couldn't quite put my finger on it because this was before... You know, I knew about, obviously, the stuff we talked about last week with the character creator. It just, like, the art style just doesn't resonate with me at all. And it just, like, and what they've shown story and combat-wise, it just looks generic. Whereas you compare that to what they showed of Archage. Archage looks like what Dragon Age used to be, you know?
I mean, I will say that this is the best showing that they've actually had for the game, in my opinion. It did capture more of the dark fantasy that Dragon Age is generally known for, and it's kind of weird where it's like, did they pull this out to counteract the criticisms over it basically being like a Tumblr version of D&D?
Yeah.
I didn't mind the gameplay too much. I was just kind of taken aback by the fact that they fade to black about 2 or 3 times during the fight.
Yeah.
And to me, that's almost like, well, we'll cut to another part of the fight because it's more interesting. And it's like, no, you should be able to make a fight from start to end interesting. If you have to keep cutting it away and going back to it to get to another section or something, I don't know. Like I say, it's not for me anyway. Like, I think Inquisition was the last Dragon Age game I'll probably bother with.
Yeah.
And even that, it was kind of already on the downward trend, I think.
Yeah, that didn't sell as well. I mean, that's always... I think I bought it digitally because that goes for like 3-4 quid for like the Ultimate Super Edition. But
right, yeah.
And that I still haven't played Dragon Age 1 and 2 on 360.
Wow.
And that was the first. I will say, going back, like, when did Inquisition come out?
Oh, God, donkey's years ago now, wasn't it? It was... Wow.
Yeah, but I'll say, like,
14,
that
15?
for me is, like, one of the first times that I remember sort of, like, playing a Western game and, like, all the women in it looked like a dog's chew toy.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was, like... years back.
Yeah.
Just thinking, like, fucking hell, what have they done to the women in this game? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, where it's like, oh, who did you romance in Inquisition? It's like, none of them.
Yeah, all fugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 years ago, 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was the start of the demise, who knows, but...
It might have been, yeah.
You know, there's been such a backlash against the character creator on this with the boob and butt sizes, and you can't even make a good-looking character or anything.
I mean, it's like what we said last week.
Yeah.
Like, have all that in there, that's fine. But have everything else in there.
Yeah. Yeah. But it just goes to show, because I saw something this week about how EA are worrying now because the pre-order numbers for this are really low.
Well, shocking.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised either. But no,
it's almost like gamers are actually starting to reject stuff that isn't actually made for them and voting with their wallets and realising that if you boycott and vote with your wallets, then they will have to change, or they face releasing stuff that interests hardly anyone.
Well, you look at Ubisoft, right?
Boycott, I think they just think it looks crap.
It does look shit.
You know.
What I was going to say about you just got to look at Ubisoft. You know, Star Wars didn't sell what they wanted to.
It still did good numbers. Like, there's a lot of games out there that would kill to sell like
sold
5,
to the
6 million
expectations of a Star Wars. You know, with the Star Wars name, obviously Skull and Bones did terrible, and then we had the news this week that Assassin's Creed has been pushed back to March next year as well, and the stock
February
till February, and the stock price of Ubisoft
Black History Month.
Oh, is it? Oh, funny that.
Yeah,
okay.
it's coming out Black History Month. They'll probably use that as another push for it, I guess.
Maybe. So, yeah, it's just interesting where gaming is going, and you look at something like Space Marine 2 has sold really, really well, because it's just old school fun. So, yeah, it's just interesting, you know. It was just like when I watched this show, and then we had the Archage trailer, and I was like, wow, this looks awesome, high fantasy, the characters look cool. And then a couple of games in, we saw the Dragon Age one, and it's just like the complete opposite, you know? It's just, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, I did think, like, at first look, that Arcade was like a Korean game, because it had that kind of Korean game look and sort of polish to it.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's move on anyway. We had the news that Power World came out on the day of the show on.
Do you reckon that was a rush job
on PlayStation? Maybe,
because obviously they were like, "It's coming out," and it's like, "Oh, we're in a lawsuit," and it's like, "Look, quick, give it to us now before they persecute or what's it?" Because then you can use that in the fact of like, no, you can't actually stop this game being sold or pushed out because it's on so many platforms.
Yeah.
The whole thing seems weird to me. I mean, come on. Like, nobody thinks that they're the same franchise. Nobody's going to look at that and think this demeans Pokemon or anything like that. It just seems a bit petty. But then again, like, Nintendo can be extremely petty.
Yeah, well, you know what Nintendo are like. They love to sue people, don't they?
Lives.
So... But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's nice it's on PlayStation, and PlayStation gamers can check it out, though. So, you know, that's cool.
I haven't actually seen how much it is on PlayStation, because it was free on Game Pass, wasn't it?
Yeah, I haven't looked either.
I'll have a look now.
Yeah, sweet. Well, while we're...
£25.
Nice. That's not bad. Okay, next game, Square Enix game, music by Nobu Uematsu as well. Fantasian Neo Dimension.
Oh, yes.
I don't. Is it like a JRPG or
it's
what?
It's a mobile phone game that's been rescued from the mobile.
Oh, so is the mobile version still going, or is it?
I don't know. I think so. I think it was just called Fantasian, the version of it on phone, and there was someone on my Twitter feed who used to plays loads of mobile phone games, and he was banging on about it. And they used to be like, yeah, but it's a mobile game, and that's bad because no matter how much you like it, just like Final Fantasy, whatever that one was with the really good graphics, it will get shut down and you'll lose it forever.
Yeah.
Like, so they've actually pulled it and they're porting it to console, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just watching the trailer now as we speak, and I thought it sounded interesting. Obviously, I love the the director of the music. However, like graphically, it does look very dated, and now you've told me it's come from mobile, I can see why.
I mean, yeah, some mobile games can look pretty damn good these days. It's just a shame that they're on phones because, like I say, they're basically going to die. You're holding a dying thing in your hand.
It's not just the graphics of these phone games; it's just how they're designed because they're generally free to play and they're designed to just take money off you constantly.
Yeah, but obviously this you've got to pay for, so they won't have all that free to play.
Oh yeah, but
bullshit in it, will it?
If it's still designed around that, you're going to feel like you're playing it, whether or not you pay for the credits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean this is a game that's coming to Nintendo Switch and PS4 and all that as well. So.
Yeah, there's physical copies for this actually releasing for Switch and PlayStation as well.
Oh, there we go. 5th of December it's out. I mean, I'm a sucker for a Square Enix JRPG anyway, so this is going to be on my radar a little bit. And I just thought it looked quite interesting, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't roughly know what kind of price it is.
No, I've not looked, to be fair.
£50 they've got it down for on the PlayStation Store.
Bloody hell.
Which means you'll probably be able to get a physical for between 45 or less.
Yeah.
But the graphics on it are fine. Like,
yeah, I mean, they look okay.
No issue. They're kind of good for... I'd say they were like PS4, Xbox One kind of graphics. I mean, the best thing about it that I quite liked was it's sort of almost old school Final Fantasy style in the fact that you've got the pixel characters or the 3D modelled characters generally over like pre-rendered background.
Yes, that's what I noted from the trailer as well, yeah.
And I liked the look of that. It's a nice little art style.
Yeah.
For it.
Cool. The other announcement they had there, and obviously this is on all systems as well, is the Alan Wake 2 expansion titled Lake House. They didn't really show much though. They just showed like a house in some woods by a lake, and that's about it. To be fair,
nice to play that when Alan Wake comes out, like next month.
What do you mean?
Physically, when people can actually buy it, because nobody bought it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I've got it obviously on digital, but
yes, you were the only person who bought it.
Yeah, I mean it was good. I enjoyed the game.
But like I said, they're saying they still haven't made a profit on the game.
I know. I think that is mental. So they're probably hoping they're going to make some money from these DLCs and obviously the physicals.
I hope they do, and that's what people aren't ready for that, you know.
Yeah, the actual thing is, I think if you get the physical copy of Alan Wake 2, don't you basically get the original game, all the DLCs so far, the original Alan Wake remastered, plus this expansion that they showed the trailer for.
Get all the expansions.
It's actually pretty good. I will probably pick it up as a thing. I know it's obviously been sweet babied into oblivion or whatever, but it's just a game that I would have picked up back when I said it did, and the only reason I didn't is because it wasn't physical, and now it is physical. I might as well.
It is actually still a good game,
and it's going to be pro enhanced as well. So.
Check you out with your PS5 Pro.
I haven't actually pre-ordered it yet.
I thought you had.
They don't. No, because the pre-orders are. It's like they did with the PSVR 2, didn't they? You could only pre-order them through Sony's own website, or PlayStation's own website, and I was just like, fuck off.
Was the pre-orders last week just the 30th anniversary, or was
it was both.
No, it's both, yeah.
Well, and they're all sold out on PlayStation.
The 30th anniversary ones sold out within seconds.
Yeah.
Scalpers.
Yeah, but Peeps managed to get a pre-order down for a PS5 Pro because he's now a massive PlayStation fanboy. And I've told him he needs to order a disc drive as well. But it's weird because, like in Australia, Elliot was saying he's pre-ordered a PS5 Pro, but he managed to do it through the local game retailers there because they're doing trading deals.
It's just Europe or England that gets fucked over all the time with this.
Yeah.
Because we've got to wait until the 10th of October to pre-order them through things like Game, Amazon UK, and like other retailers.
Well, they don't even get told because Games Collection, like on Twitter, they're quite really active.
Yeah.
And they said they haven't been told or allocated anything yet.
That's shit.
And they've actually like called out PlayStation or something. They're like, come on, are you going to give us an allocation or at least tell us when we're going to get them? We promise we won't tell people on Twitter. But
this is the thing, isn't it? You generally want to order your stuff through the sites you order from, so you can like accrue reward points or keep memberships and stuff because you're spending X amount of money on the sites. Whereas if you order it through like just PlayStation, nothing. You get nothing.
Yeah.
And you also have, I think you have to sign in through your PSN account and stuff as well.
And I think you have to pay for it up front as well.
I mean, I've got no issue with that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's reasonably good because sometimes you can pre-order stuff and then you all of a sudden like, oh shit, I've got to make sure that money's in my bank on this date, which is when they're going to take it out and stuff. So
yeah. Well, that Games Collection, said Assassin's Creed got delayed. They cancelled all pre-orders that they had and then gave them like a £10 code off something else if they want to pre-order it.
Right. Well, that's better than
pay up front. But Sony don't give you nothing to do, especially if you buy. But I still don't know why anyone would pre-order anything digitally on a console.
It's bizarre.
No,
it's bizarre.
That's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can understand why people do it like a couple of days before, so they can pre-download and all that.
Michael Webby, when he pre-ordered off CD Keys test drive because it was cheaper, I'd understand pre-order digitally if you've got a really good deal on the CD keys, but full price on the console, that makes no sense.
Well, and I do that on CD keys because usually when the game launches, they bump the price up by 5 or 10 quid. So, and they did on test drive because I pre-ordered it for like 21 quid, and then on launch day it was 30 quid. So,
this is also why you're now getting more companies doing the classic pre-order now and get access to the closed beta when it releases on such and such. Yeah.
Play it 3 days early.
Is it not good that if you buy it early, it's cheaper than if you buy it when it comes out? Why would that not be a standard thing?
Oh, I just find it weird. Right, I'm going to move on. Hitman VR, Darren.
Yes. So happy.
I'm sure you are. So is this part of like the normal Hitman game that's already out?
Yeah, it's basically Hitman, which has now become Hitman World of Assassination.
Right.
Which basically encompasses all the Hitman stuff into a single hub area, which is what Ubisoft are trying to technically do with the Assassin's Creed franchise, and technically also what are they called? Activision has done with Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
It's like everything's through the same thing. But obviously with the Hitman World of Assassination stuff, you can basically play through most of the Hitman games that have been upgraded to the visuals of like this newer version. And if you bought it on PS4 when it came out, like not the World of Assassination, but this iteration of Hitman when it came out, you could play it through PSVR.
Wow.
And I remember back then thinking like, I don't really want to get the last gen version of it just so I can access the VR.
Yeah.
I'd rather get the newer gen, and I laid off it for ages, and then I think it was like about a year or two back, I did actually pick up like a cheap copy of it for Xbox One. I was like, yeah, that'll do for the old Xbox series. There's something else I can play. And it always, like, it was shown off looking and running great on it. And then it was just like, if I'd have had it on PlayStation, I could have been able to play it in PSVR too. Bastard.
Oh, mate.
Oh, well.
I
know a friend of mine who's got it on PlayStation anyway, so I could technically just take my headset down his house.
Nice.
And test it out.
But yeah, it does look pretty cool, doesn't it? All right, let's move on. What was next? Oh, yes. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remake. Or
I know,
remastered, shall I say.
this leaked like
Remastered.
5 years ago, if not longer.
What's that? Did it?
This
What?
leaked like 5 years ago, at least 5
Oh,
years
did
ago.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it leak on the day before, like hours
No,
before
but I
the
meant
show.
like, I'm not saying like video leaks, but they like said that they'd be working on it. I mean, this is before PS5. That's how long this has been. They've been holding on to this.
Well, I think this is another one that's also coming into PS4.
Yeah, I think it's coming to everything Xbox as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I think
no
Switch.
word on physical editions yet, though.
See, I think it's cool they've done this. I mean, I remember playing the original Soul Reaver on the PS1 back in the day and absolutely loving it, but your memory can be a fuzzy thing when you've played a game when you're like 13, 14 years old and now you're 40 and, you can't really remember it very well, but just remember enjoying it back then. You know what I mean?
Watching then,
Yeah.
being like, oh, it was really good. And then you like see it now and you're like, Jesus wept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music's amazing, but my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, I played it on Dreamcast. I think I got stuck halfway through because I think it's one of these. It's a lot more Zelda-like as well as like dungeons but you have to do the thing where like you go from like the normal world to the underworld and it changes your surroundings and some things you do in that and you have to do things in the underworld to make the real world and all that type of thing.
All right.
So it's clever. But yeah, plus it looked like, I mean, it's a bit harsh because a lot of games did, but it looks like crap back then.
Yeah.
It's like really muddy and hard to see what you were looking at, and everything just seemed green and murky. But
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, this is good because I think this has started to go, or this had especially one, and I think two as well. It started to go up in price, like off eBay. So it's nice that people could actually play the games and not have to spend 50, 60 quid to get a copy on eBay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I just got a message. I'll have to read it. Apologies.
All
Okay. Right. Okay. Sorry about that. Family stuff. Right. Okay. Next game. Fear the Spotlight. Do you remember seeing this one, Darren? Or Nick?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
By Bloomhouse Games. It looks like a PS1 game.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah? I'm only reminding myself because I'm watching it as I'm talking to you about it. So it's kind of like I think it's meant to be like a horror type game, but with that retro kind of PS1 look to it, if that makes sense.
Why?
Why?
Like, it does make me laugh. I can understand games emulating like the bit errors, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
8-bit, 16-bit and all that kind of stuff. But to go back to the shittiest looking game error is kind of a strange choice. Because like that is literally the games that you look at and they don't hold up at all because they look terrible.
I think it looked quite interesting. I just think it's cool that they've done that kind of art style to it. And it came across as quite freaky. It's actually out on the 22nd of October. Another one that's on PS4.
I don't know if it'll be able to run it.
I think I should. What I should have done is I've jotted down how many of these games at the showcase were also on last gen systems. I haven't done it. I should have done because it feels like most of them are coming to PS4 and Xbox One. But no, I think it looks cool. That Blumhouse Games, I think they're quite renowned for doing some good horror games from memory as well. So yeah, I thought it looked quite cool. I'm going to let you talk about this one, Darren, because you're super excited for this. Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Oh, yeah.
Because you sent me another video on WhatsApp today.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't aware that there was any more footage of this, or that they did an actual sort of 20-minute presentation at TGS for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've kind of put me in the spot here, actually, at the moment. I'm in the middle of something, but I'll...
Can I just say the graphics look awesome on this?
Yeah, that's the kind of worry. I was like, well, they've definitely upped the amount of enemies on screen.
Yeah.
They've definitely taken the graphics up another notch since Dynasty Warriors 9, which was fucking terrible.
Oh dear.
Which is impressive, because it's like, how do you beat 6 for being like the worst Dynasty Warriors game? Because that was awful, but they managed it. And it follows this new sort of like weird sort of hero character that you're playing.
Okay.
And obviously experiencing the story of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms through that character's eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's not going to have all the characters in it. It's probably not going to go through all of the sort of famous battles that they do in those games, which I still don't think it will, because it's Origins. I imagine it'll probably only cover up to the Dongzhuo type of stuff, because that's all we've seen so far.
Okay.
But yeah, the battles look great. It's no longer open world. I mean, you've got an open world map that you can walk your character around and visit the towns, and obviously have little event scenes and things like that. But when it comes to the actual battles, you're back on like just a single battle map.
Yeah.
And you can choose who you want to go into battle with, depending obviously on the faction that you're allied with at the time, and then where you want to start on the battlefield. And it just basically starts from there. You can also at times pause the game with like something called Eagle Vision, which basically gives you like updates of everything that's going on the battlefield. Which also allows you to issue orders to troops, telling them to go and help certain generals and other people that are having certain fights in different areas to try and take certain parts of the battlefield.
Nice. I mean,
So there's a point when he marches a load of archers to the top of like a ridge and gets them to fire down onto the enemy army below to lower their morale before storming down into them.
Nice. I mean, these games have always been renowned for going in and just hammering like hundreds of enemies at a time.
Messing stuff up, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, that they're kind of just like shut your brain off kind of games and have fun.
Yeah.
Like most games have a power fantasy behind them, per se. And obviously those games definitely have it in abundance, because there's no way in real life you'd be able to literally just take the battlefield and kill thousands of people.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Chuck Norris or something, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. Really good. Out early next year. I think it's like early January next year.
Yeah.
Which is nice. There's something else that comes out early January as well that I've noticed, and was like, oh, January could be a good month. So yeah, really looking forward to this. Hopefully it brings the Dynasty Warriors series back, because it's been, like I say, it's been in like a weird spot for the past few years. I think it was trying to reinvent itself.
Yeah.
But again, Dynasty Warriors 6 tried to reinvent itself. The fans didn't like it and kind of rejected it. And then they created what I believe to be the best Dynasty Warriors game, which was 7, straight afterwards. So I'm hoping this sort of follows the same sort of suit.
Nice. And then the next game that they showed is another game I think you might be looking forward to. I'm still undecided. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah. Again, this is one I'm kind of not happy with how it looks, but will probably still end up picking it up because I'm a Monster Hunter fan, and it's probably going to have that itch.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a new game out, and it's Monster Hunter. It might be good. I might like it. Should I give it a go?
I mean, it's more Monster Hunter, right? But... I don't know.
Yeah, it's just lost its identity.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it just looks generic.
Yeah, well, some of the way the characters look for sure, but it's seeing what the gameplay's like with your mates and going in and doing that old school kind of hunting the monsters and all that. It's like, I think
that's what the game was all about.
Yeah.
It was just about go to the hunt board, find out the monster you got to hunt, and off you go. There wasn't these like big sweeping storylines of I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean, kind of thing that's technically going on.
Yeah.
Like my favourite Monster Hunter game still to this day is probably Unite and Unite 2, which are just basically kind of expansions of Portable 2. And I love those, and they didn't really have a story. It was just like really thin there. It was almost like Borderlands. Out of all three Borderlands games, the first one's still my favourite because it doesn't really have a story. Because when they put stories in, it just goes all goofy, and you end up with these stupid characters and these weird scenarios. So either set out to do like a complete story-based game or don't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite happy with games that are just very loose on story, and you kind of make the story up as you go along.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, from what it looks like to me, I'm not super interested in it, but I quite enjoy the Monster Hunter games. I'm keen just to see more of the actual gameplay.
So at the moment, I'm not super impressed or anything by it, and it doesn't look like it's running particularly well.
You'll be all right on your Pro.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, obviously, Dragon's Dogma 2 was a shit show, wasn't it?
Well, massively, yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah.
It might even be one of those ones that I don't necessarily get it on the week it comes out. I might wait a week or so to see the reviews and see the tech reports and stuff on how it performs and things.
Yeah.
Cut now to months in the future. I'm like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on then. Right, well, okay. Let's talk about remasters again, shall we? Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster.
I'm getting it.
Really?
Well, I may get it, because what they said at the end, basically, if you've got it, it's a $10 free or £10 free upgrade. Well, I say free, a £10 upgrade. So if you've got it there, but the only difference is I'm not sure if the version I've got qualify. I've got the version where they gave it away 3-4 years ago during COVID.
No, you probably haven't.
Well, I don't know.
They did that before with some other game, didn't they?
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I'm not sure because I got that and the Uncharted trilogy. Yeah, they gave that away for, I think it was COVID times, so... But yeah, I'm not sure. I had a look. I can't see it even available to buy. And it says 31st of October as well. So, and I couldn't see it available on the store to buy. So maybe I couldn't see it on the store because it's either not available to buy yet, which is weird.
Well, what I don't get right, Nick, is the game isn't even that old. It looks like, and it was on PS Plus for a while, and they've taken it off. And just before they announced this remaster, they've jacked the price up of the game, of the original game as well, which I think is very naughty. And to be fair, the PS4 version running on your PS5 looks really good anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been scouring the internet trying to find some comparisons, and there is hardly any difference. So from my point of view, it's pointless. Like, they're just trying to cash in a little bit.
Yeah, but they've got to make Aloy fat in this one, like they did in the second one.
Well, yeah, true.
Give her chubby cheeks as they do. I'm being a piss taker.
Well, they have. They've made.
That's what they are going to do. But I just hate this. Like where I had a conversation with someone this week about the Dead Rising remaster remake, which is a remake of a remaster of a 360 game. So it's been remade 3 times, which is stupid. And they keep using this. And I think they said this and this. It's remade from the ground up. I'm like, fuck off, is this
off,
remade
is
from the
it?
ground? Oh, complete new textures, complete. I said, no, you haven't. All you've done is you've gone into the code and gone, increase resolution, save. Oh, that works. £70, please.
Can't have that in this day and age. We'll take that out. Can't have this character dressed like that. They have. It's been hacked up quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, the video you've got on there, Webby, I oversee no difference, or it looks worse, to be honest. I mean...
nobody was asking for this. Literally nobody was asking for a Horizon remaster.
If you're going to do it for free, because that's the thing what annoys me, that Xbox, especially, they haven't done it as much this gen, but when they were giving you the Xbox One X upgrades, they were just always free, weren't they?
Yeah.
And even like Ubisoft and all people, the series, that's free. Because we'll do a free, basically patch it and go in and give you a higher resolution. And I'm not going to say that's like a 10-minute job. I'm assuming it takes longer than 10 minutes to make it so it works in 4K or whatever they're doing, improve lighting or what they say they're doing. But is it worth another £70? But the thing is, they got away with what was it, Last of Us Part 1.
All you've got to think of is what happens when they do the next Horizon. Are they then going to remaster
Horizon Forbidden West again?
Forbidden West, and then they're going to remaster Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know if you're watching on this Twitch. I'm looking at the Webby's Twitch, and you look at the remaster, and the new one looks worse.
It just looks like they've made it a bit brighter. Like the lighting's just a bit brighter. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
But the character models themselves, there isn't really that much of a difference, to be fair.
They generally look a bit more realistic, I suppose, in theory. But like I remember another video I saw, like the original, it was kind of that cross between stylised and realistic.
Mm.
I mean,
and then they've leaned more to the realistic.
They've given him a bit of Just for Men on his hair and beard, and it looks less hairy and more Lego-y.
Yeah, I just find it weird, Nick. I don't know about you, because obviously I don't like we've come to this age where there's a lot of remasters and remakes, etc. And when they're remastering or remaking a game that's say 20 years old, you can see why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But a PS4 game. What are they doing?
One of my favourite games ever, Resident Evil 2 on PS1, and they made that for PS1. And you're like, that's a completely new game.
Yeah.
Whereas these, they are just like a free upgrade. It should be a free upgrade, and they should be like, this is a free upgrade to everyone. But for those of you that haven't played this one yet, it's worth having a look. But it's just being greedy, and some people do. I mean, like what was it? Last of Us Part 1. My mate at work, Ryan, he thought that was a new game, so he spent £70 on it, and he was playing it for about 10 minutes. He went, I played this before. And he was like, oh my God, it's the same game. He said, and he's like, I said, yeah, they've just remastered it, but they didn't call it, because that's the second time they remastered that, because they did they did it on PS3, didn't they, The Last of Us? And then they did The Last of Us remastered on PS4, and the remaster on PS5. Instead of calling it a remaster or they called it just The Last of Us Part 1. So you can understand where people could get a little bit confused.
Like on this picture here, I've just paused it. The original here looks better. The baby looks better on the original, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks like someone's had a go at his eyebrows with a bloody razor.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It looks more whitewashed, the newer version.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but or have they done that to try and tell people that's what HDR is? But then the original on PS4 had HDR.
Yeah, the PS4 Pro, it was basically the PS4 Pro showstopper, wasn't it? It was kind of like, look how good this can look on the Pro, and it was the first time I played a game in over 1080 and HDR and all that lot, and it looked fantastic.
Yeah, it's like when they upgrade, like they bring the. I mean, Webby will find this out if he starts buying more 4K movies, especially if he looks online. Is it worth upgrading? They just change like the color filters and mess with the saturation and think that's enough to justify another 25 quid on 4K. And a lot of people, like, because I wanted to get, or I was looking at getting the Dark Knight trilogy, and I looked at a couple of videos online, and they're like, they've just messed with the saturation, they've turned this down and all the brightness down. So whereas the Joker, you can't even tell he's got green hair. They've messed with the colour saturation.
Right.
Things like that.
It is bizarre, yeah, because there's obviously been certain films like, was it Lawrence of Arabia? Which is apparently one of the best 4K transfers ever made. And it's from a really old film. Because
it's on film, they can't mess with it because it's shot on... Whereas a lot of newer stuff is digital, they can adjust it really easily. Whereas back then, they near enough have to go through everything frame by frame. So that's why it's a lot more difficult back then. But
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and I still don't have the Lord of the Rings trilogy on 4K because they kind of fucked with them a bit.
Well, some places they did. Apparently the Blu-ray version, they messed with the snow, so it had like a weird blue filter. So all the snow looked blue on the Blu-ray version. But then they fixed that in the 4K version. And I'm like, I've bought these on DVD on Blu-ray, and I buy them again on 4K. That's but we fixed the snow, but the bit in the cave they've completely messed with it. So when they're in the cave, the screen just looks black for like 3 minutes. I'm like, oh,
how annoying,
like, I get it. And when the 20th anniversary 4K comes out, they'll fix it. That's just weird, but that I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. It just proves that they haven't got much else to do.
Yeah.
I mean, what games, PS4 games, have they I mean, you say remastered. They've just filtered them in, haven't they? They've just put an update in them to run on slightly higher resolution. So they've done The Last of Us, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima. What else is there?
Bloodborne. Oh no, sorry.
The games people actually, people are desperate for that. And the thing is, though, a game like that would, I mean, that's what 2015, so it's not. But a game like that to run at 60 frames per second would actually really benefit from.
And it would also sell millions of copies on PC as well if they wanted to still do the cross between.
Yep, and I saw a picture on Webby's. Yep, they made her cheeks chubbier. I'm furious. I don't know. It's hilarious that they have to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or that they think they have to do that.
Oh. Big thank you to Frosty for subscribing again for 2 months now. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see if I can do, because I think it'll be nice for people to know, if they're like, well, why can't I buy it? Why can't I see the free upgrade? And then, because they're not going to tell people that whoever got that version are not going to get it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think it needs it. And like watching this comparison video I've just had on for the last 8 minutes, like a lot of the original, I think the lighting looks a lot nicer, looks more movie-like, you know what I mean? So
it looks more natural.
Yeah.
So that's a really good game, actually. I haven't played the newest one yet, because, what I'm like with games. I'll play that when PS6.
See, I found the most recent one a bit boring, to be fair, but the original one I really liked.
Yeah.
But
the
I had the same with
have been worse.
What was it? Thor Ragnarok, because I played not Thor Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok, where you go to where Thor is. But after playing the first one a little bit later than everybody else, and then try to play the new one, so just more of the same again.
Yeah.
It felt like a 1.5 rather than a full-on sequel.
Yeah. Well, let's move on because times are ticking on and we haven't even done the Xbox show yet, and we've got to discuss
what we've been playing.
No, I think we're going to have to leave what we've been playing to next week at this rate. Ghost of Yotai, which is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
Please, please, please don't become a classic PlayStation sequel that's worse than the original.
Now, Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favourite PlayStation exclusive games of all time. It's now on PC, but I played it on the PS4 Pro and absolutely loved it. I know they did an update for PS5, but it was such a long-ass game, I haven't brought myself to replay it, but it is a fantastic game. So when they announced this at the PlayStation Showcase and showed the trailer, like as soon as the trailer started, I was like, oh my God, it's Ghost of Tsushima 2. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. And then the name was announced as Ghost of Yotai, so it's different characters. It's set, I think, a few hundred years.
300 years later or something, yeah.
Yeah. And you playing as a lady samurai, which, you know, not really that fussed about as long as the game's great, etc. But from the trailer, I think you guys can agree with me. It looks good, right? Yeah.
Well, no, it's not that. It's kind of like it's aping obviously the visual style from before.
Yes.
So it hasn't got the immense wow factor that the original game had, because it's kind of like we said, like a bit more of the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a degree, so it's that
one of the
nice
the best looking games I've ever seen.
It was amazing.
Well, the original Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, a few times when I played that and streamed it, and just off stream, and I just sat there just looking at it. Like, obviously they had the thing with instead of having waypoints and arrows, you just had the wind blowing the leaves.
Yeah, I love that.
I just sat there looking at it, and I thought, this game looks so nice. And they didn't just have stuff everywhere, like, you know, just crap on the world map just for this, you know, they didn't Ubisoft it.
Yeah.
And just have loads of stuff everywhere. And it was a simple-ish story, lovely fights and things like that.
Multi-tiered side quests that actually deal with other characters and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, right, I mean, I don't know enough about Japanese history to know if women samurais were even a thing, so I'm not going to say yes or no.
They were.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
However, there has been...
Not obviously hugely like all over the place, but there were a few of them.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough, right? There has been a little bit of a backlash online, though, about it, for a couple of reasons. One of them is you're playing a woman and not a dude. Well, okay.
That just seems silly. You can't just point at certain things and go, "Oh, look, non-white. Yeah. That's woke." And so on. So that's the thing. Like, you've got to look into it properly and be like, "No, you can literally see that this is why this was done."
Yeah. No, and that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Can anyone actually remember the name of the guy you played as in the first one?
No.
Jin Sakai.
Oh, there you go.
So you can, but people who are angry on YouTube, I asked the same question on Twitter. I was like, so what was the name of the dude that you're furious has been replaced? Ghost? And that's all like, Tsushima? Ghost Tsushima, that was his name. I was like, I don't know what name. But...
Now, yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. If the game's good, the game's good, right? I don't give a fuck, right? However, there's been a lot of stuff online about the main actress and voice actor of the game. She's very... Now, and this is the problem with social media, right? Back in the day, you wouldn't know about anyone's personal opinions. You'd just be like, I play the game. I don't know anything else outside of that. It's cool, right? This day and age, though, everyone has to voice their opinion online, and I've been guilty of it myself. So, you know, I'm not saying...
Westerners have to voice their opinion.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Japanese people generally don't do that. Well, they know that it will alienate customers, and it doesn't reflect well on the company that they represent or the product that they represent.
Yeah. So the main actress for this, they've actually like scanned her face and all that. She's American, like a Japanese-looking American lady, but she's been very vocal on Twitter regarding defunding the police.
men.
Current thing, regarding current thing, like in quotes, isn't it?
And she does regard herself as a they them, and is an activist according to her Twitter. So obviously it has upset a lot of people online, and there's been quite a big backlash against it. Now, I've got a couple of opinions on this personally. One is, wait and see what the game's like, because if it's just her, if she has nothing else to do with the actual story of the game and all that, I think we'll be okay. But if there's people in the company that are a similar thought process as her, and they push certain agendas into the new game, then I think we may have something to worry about. But from the trailer we've seen, it looks decent, to be fair. So I think it's a case of wait and see, to be fair. But I can see why people are worried.
Oh, well, you've only got to look at like a load of sort of like things like Spider-Man 2 was probably the last big one that had a load of weirdo stuff pushed into the game.
Yeah.
Defund the samurai.
And obviously Concord, massive flop. Sony, similar people with people similar political views, shall we say?
It's quite easy to separate the art from the artist, as they say.
Yeah,
there's plenty of actors out there that are complete nut jobs on social media, and I like them as actors still anyway.
Well, 100%. I mean, one of the big ones for me is Stephen King. He's
a lunatic, yeah.
He is very vocal.
Ron Perlman. Yeah. He's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's understandable, really, when you look at half of Stephen King's stuff.
I mean, his books are amazing. He's my favourite author. But then on the other side, there's obviously there's a lot of hate towards J.K. Rowling, and certain sections of the media and people online were trying to do a boycott for Hogwarts, which didn't work. So
worked brilliantly.
Yeah.
Best-selling game last year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So, yeah, I do see that thing of separate the art from the artist. 100% agree. I just hope that these ideologies don't push themselves into the Ghost of Yotai, because it'd be a great shame.
Did you, obviously, quickly cutting back to the thing about Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yes.
During the time, I think it was the day before it was announced to be pushed back, or was it on the day? There was basically a statement that was put out by one of the people at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Where it basically sort of said, our aim is to make fun, enjoyable entertainment for everyone, and to make, we don't push any agendas. And it's like, oh, yeah. And then you go straight onto their website, and it has all of their fucking shit that they're pushing. Like, literally, it's on their website. It's literally like the guy was lying to your face the whole time. It's just like, no, we know you are. Yeah. This is why people are kind of upset. We know you're doing this, and you're trying to tell us you're not. No.
Yeah.
I just found that hilarious. That was like funny comment of the week.
Yeah, I don't think this is one I found. I found a different one about a thing to Japan, but I definitely saw the one that you mentioned online.
I'm sure I posted it in our group, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah, definitely crazy, because I say Ubisoft have been in quite a lot of financial issues this year, and they've had to put out a statement, as you say, Darren, about all that. It's crazy that
they've lost like half their value or something, haven't they, in like a year?
It's mental. I wouldn't want to be a shareholder in that company at the minute.
No, well, they're actually trying to rebel against the current management.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a lot.
So there's a lot of a ton of infighting.
Yeah.
There's probably a load of other games companies out there that are kind of like, oh, have you seen what's going on over there? Like, yeah, cool. While they're overlooking there, we can do this over here.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't look over this way. Oh, here we go. Let me address some of the polarising comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience. And our goal is not to push any specific agendas. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of... You can't target the broadest possible audience while also creating games that everyone can enjoy, because everyone doesn't enjoy the same thing. That's just fact.
Yeah.
If you make games for everyone, you please no one.
Yeah. 100%. I did miss a game out by the looks of it, because I was just looking at this Xbox picture.
Well, we haven't got to the Xbox games, have we?
No, but I was just looking at a game that I think was announced on the PlayStation show, but I didn't write down. But it was... anyway, the Luna Remastered Collection.
Oh, yeah.
I've never played these games, man. So I'm actually quite looking forward to this, because these are quite renowned RPGs, aren't they?
I remember, I think the first time I came across it was on the Mega CD, the Luna series.
Wow. And I think I'm not sure when they're out. Spring 2025, yeah. I
mean, it's nice to see companies actually sort of thinking, we've got this franchise here that people love. If people like the original, there's a possibility that they'll probably buy it. And also there's a shitload of people who weren't gaming 20, 30 years plus back.
Yeah.
They might want to try it out, or they might have... It still boggles the mind that Square Enix haven't tried to remaster or redo Xenogears.
Yeah.
Considering how highly regarded that game is in the JRPG sector, and the fact that it wasn't released in Europe either.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's got shitloads of religious themes and stuff in it, but it's just a story. It doesn't necessarily have to reflect any particular religion or whatnot.
Yep.
It was just a story for the game. Yeah, I absolutely love that game. That's one of my favourite JRPGs ever.
So this collection is Luna Silver Star Story and Luna 2 Eternal Blue.
Does it say what it was originally released on? Silver Star Story might have been the actual one that was on the Mega CD, because it kind of looks like they've gone in and taken the little anime cutscene bits as well.
Right.
And obviously sort of like tidied them up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. I mean, I've never played them, so I'm very unsure what they were originally on or anything like that. But they just looks cool to me. You know, I've definitely heard of the games, but I'd say not played them. So
it's weird as well that Sega only class Phantasy Star now as an MMO.
Yeah, weird, eh?
When it basically started off as just a single-player RPG series, which was pretty damn popular as well.
Yeah. So as soon as the PlayStation show finished, Xbox put out a tweet with all the games coming to Xbox. So I'm just going to read them out very, very quickly. Sonic Shadow Generations, Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is also on Game Pass, Hell is Us, Dragon Age Veilguard, Fear the Spotlight, Dynasty Warriors Origins, Monster Hunter Wilds, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, Fantasian Neo Dimension, the Lake House Alan Wake 2 expansion, the Luna Remastered Collection, and Archage Chronicles. So, yeah, pretty cool.
As much as I'm looking forward to Archage Chronicles, that is kind of still one of those games where I'm kind of like, yeah, I can kind of see that not being particularly great on console. We shall see. I do like it if things... I think a good First Descendant, that plays perfectly well on console.
Yeah.
And PC, so it can be done, but then you get still things like Black Desert is on console, still isn't even up to the standard of the PC version, even like 6-7 years after it came out. And the fact that we're now on a new console generation and they still haven't done versions of it for that.
Yeah.
The Xbox 2 and the PS6 will be out by the time they put that freaking update out.
Yeah, probably.
And the worst thing is the longer they leave it, the more the game's going to die off.
Yeah.
Just a shame.
Okay, Xbox show then. Xbox Tokyo Game Show.
You missed the game, Webby.
Oh, did I?
Well, some DLC, the Nier Automata DLC going to Stellar Blade.
Oh, right, yeah. My game
was
of
that
the
the
year.
PlayStation show, was it? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it would have been because
it was,
a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, I still haven't played Nier Automata yet.
Well, I still haven't played Stellar Blade. I haven't bought that.
Have you finished it, Darren, or have you not bothered even opening it?
What, Stellar Blade?
Yeah, you said it was annoying. Yeah.
Oh, well, I quit halfway through. It was just frustrating as shit. So many mechanics in that game just felt completely off. Like, visually it's nice, and the combat feels good when it works, but it's just not responsive. If you've played like a Souls-type game or like Lies of P, and then you try playing that, you're like, what is this?
Fair dues.
So yeah, and it had horrible platforming sections in it and things like that, and the platforming is horrible in the game. Like, the character just doesn't feel great when you're jumping about or platforming and stuff.
Okay.
It was meant to be a hack and slash. The music in the game is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, it's just a shame. I might end up going back to it at some point because it is getting a pro update to see if that makes things a little bit better. But it's not just me. I remember when it actually came out, someone who played the demo way back when that release was like, is it just me or does the combat feel off on this? And it's like, no, it's not just you. Because it's like, it's hard to explain. Obviously, certain games you have to get used to.
Yeah.
Like, I've had to get used to Space Marine.
Yeah.
Because obviously the controls on that are completely different from a lot of the third-person-y kind of games I play. And the way that certain mechanics in it work are different as well. And now I'm kind of used to it. I'm loving it even more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Stellar Blade just never clicked. It just wound me up far more than
That's fair.
I actually watched it. So I was just like, no, I need to put this down before I snap the disc or something.
Fair dues, mate. Did I miss anything else from the PlayStation show?
I think that's it.
Okay, right. Okay, now we'll go to the PlayStation, the Xbox show, and also Dugster says hi in the Twitch chat. Hello.
Hello.
Darkest Frost says he didn't watch either of the shows, so I think he's listening intently. So yeah, Xbox show. I thought the Xbox show was really good as well, actually. First game
I only caught like the last 10, 15 minutes, but that was pretty good.
Did you not go back and watch anything else, no?
No.
Okay. So the first thing they showed was Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this trailer.
Oh, my God. This looks so good. And I know it's a remake, but, man, it looks stunning. It really does. I mean, I'm a sucker for Metal Gear games anyway, but wowzers. Does this
It's a remake of my favourite Metal Gear game.
Do you think I should play 3 or just wait and play this?
I'd wait now. Yeah, I just think this looks like what they've done with the graphics. It just looks stunning, and we all know the game is good if we've played it before, right? So, oh man, I'm so excited for this. Like, the trailer just got me really hyped for it, you know. So, yeah, they've done a really good job with it.
A lot of grief online. A lot of people, and I think they must be blind people. They're saying that the original graphics looked better.
Well,
and I'm like, are you sure this isn't clickbait? There's a lot of people saying it. I don't know.
I don't know what they're on about.
They're probably moaning about the boss because she now actually kind of looks the age she's supposed to be.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
I just think it looks good. I mean, I haven't got any complaints, to be fair, you know?
And if we haven't got any complaints, it must be good.
Yeah. Well, we're the only voice that matters. But yeah.
I mean, what is actually going to be interesting with it is I wonder if Kojima will actually play it and actually give us an opinion on what he thinks.
Who knows? That'd be interesting to see.
Has he got nothing to do with this at all, though?
Well, apart from obviously the story and characters and stuff,
well,
I imagine he might still be getting. I don't know whether he'll still be due residuals and stuff from it, because it might just fall completely like he sold that all under Konami and that's it.
I mean, you'd like to think that maybe they'd put him in it somewhere or a little Easter egg if he's not actually involved in the making of it.
Has it got the song in it?
What, Snake Eater?
Yeah.
Must do. It had it in the reveal trailer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Do. No way would they have, the
Longest
song.
ladder in gaming.
Yeah. I've seen that, but I've seen people play it on Twitch. I just haven't played it myself. I only just finished 2, like last year, or at the start of this year.
Bloody hell, mate, you're so retro.
I am retro.
Do you know what else could do with a remaster or a remake?
Go on.
Possibly.
Played?
No. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Oh, yeah, that was a good game. I enjoyed that too.
That was so much fun. See, we haven't had games that have actually kind of tried to innovate too much when it comes to like the hack and slash gameplay, whereas that actually did try to, and it sort of like it pulled it off.
Yeah.
With that slashing mechanic.
Yeah, definitely. Was the original Metal Gear Solid, I forget what, 3 or whatever it is, was it PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got it.
I'm watching a side-by-side video at the minute, and I was just thinking, this looks like PS2. I think that still looks pretty decent, on the PS2 version. Yeah.
I think by the end of the PS2, apart from, like, I forgot the word, like, basically looked like the game's smothered in Vaseline.
Yeah.
Other than that, on the video quality, but that was the PS2, but looks pretty good. Plus but I don't know if that's the PS2 version that they're using for comparison, or the
remaster thing they did.
The HD version, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
It could be that. But which a year on, Konami still haven't brought out the promised 1080p versions of the game on that Metal Gear Solid Collection.
To be honest, they kind of screwed the pooch on that and Silent Hill Collection, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Cool. Right,
although, isn't there a Metal Gear Solid Collection 2 coming out with, like, Peace Walker and, like...
So, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if they haven't announced anything yet. You assume so.
I mean, Metal Gear 4 is still just locked to the PS3, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to move on, guys. Oh, yeah, this next game I'm really excited for because I love my old school kind of 16-bit JRPGs, and this one is called Threads of Time. What did you reckon of this one, guys?
If it's the one I think it is it the one that it looks very similar to that game you played last year or the year before that you really loved? Is it the same team or is it a different one?
I think it might be a different team. I don't know. I need to watch it.
It had that similar kind of art style to the actual like animated cutscene stuff.
Yes,
where it kind of is a mix of Japanese and Western.
Yeah.
Character designs.
Yeah. Remember, I liked the look of the cutscenes, and when I got to the gameplay, I was like, I've played this before.
It looks stunning, mate. I think I love games like this because it's like goes through time. You play in different time periods, which I think. What was the other game that did it? Chrono wasn't Chrono Trigger, was it? It was that really old. I'm fucking hell, my brain's not working tonight.
Chrono Cross.
Yeah, it was one of the. Anyway, there was a game where you went through time, but before, like on the SNES, and I replayed it on the 3DS. It might have been Chrono Trigger.
That did re-release.
Yeah, it might have been that. But what was that other game I played? Sea of Stars.
That's the one.
That's it. Brain is working again. It does look like Sea of Stars, but no, it's a different studio. But no, this looks cool because I just like the trailer was like it showed you some bits where you're in like the dinosaur era, and then there was like a futuristic place and stuff like that. And it just looks an interesting story and good turn-based combat and stuff like that. So I'm hyped for it. I know it's quite niche, but I love shit like this. So yeah, very cool. Next game, Frostpunk. Now, I'm thinking this is... what team was this? It's not an X. I don't know if this is an Xbox exclusive or not. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it is. I need to double check in a moment once the trailer's over. But it's basically another team shooter, 5v5 team shooter. Well, it'd be interesting to see if it flops as hard as Concord did on the PlayStation. But this is, first-person shooter for 5v5, but it's instead of like heroes per se, you get random cards that you can draw throughout the game, and they give you different abilities. And it looks quite interesting, actually. So
that's kind of mixing in the MOBA formula.
Yes, a little bit, yeah. But it looks very.
There was also that other game, wasn't there, that came out? I think it was a couple of years ago now, which was like a stylistic
hero
shooter game that used cards.
Oh, don't recall.
As abilities and stuff.
Halo?
No. This was like it was an indie game, but like a quite really well made indie game.
Oh, I don't know. I never played it, or whatever it was. But no, this looks interesting. I mean, the characters look actually half interesting compared to other hero shooters we may not have played. But as I say, the proof is in the pudding of actually playing it. It'd just be interesting to see how the cards actually affect the gameplay, and if it's something that you want to come back to, because, you know, we're kind of inundated with hero shooters at the minute anyway. And as we talked about about the Concord flop, it wasn't.
Do you remember Foam Stars?
Oh God, fucking hell, another PlayStation flop. Funny that. Yeah, I don't know. I think people are a little bit burnt out on these type of games. I don't know, but it looks fun. So, I don't know. So, but there was a closed beta on the 10th of October. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if this Frostpunk is on everything. Oh, it's not. It's Xbox and PC only. Ooh.
That'd be funny if that's actually successful, whereas PlayStation's if it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to keep an eye on this one, because that would be fucking hilarious.
Changing so much of that right now. They're like, put all the
Concord.
No, of this game before it comes.
Oh, right.
I don't know. They're like, right, put the women in there, get the massive tits out, just sex cells, put it all in.
I don't know, man. I mean, some of the characters look pretty interesting, to be fair. 5v5 hero shooter with cards. I don't know, because all these new ones, like, there's already kind of that set player base, isn't there? So it's going to take something pretty good to pull
if it's a
people away.
free-to-play one, then that's fair enough, isn't it? It's not like they wanted you to pay for the game and then pay all the DLC free-to-play on top.
Yeah.
Which is what the other one wanted you to do.
Yeah.
As well as being shit.
Yeah. Well, we will see. Anyway. So, right, I'm going to move on then. Talked enough about this. Okay. So the other games I'm going to just quickly talk about are games that they put out on Game Pass on the day, which I think upset a lot of PlayStation people. We love Katamari.
Great games. Absolutely great games, those, the Katamaris.
So we love Katamari Reroll Plus. So I've actually played all these games very briefly this week. So I just want to say it's really good. Rolling around. It's really funny.
Has it got the theme tune?
Yeah, it's weird and wacky and shit like that. So so that's cool. Yeah, love it. And it's just really cool. Went to Game Pass. So that's cool. And the other games I haven't played yet, I've downloaded though. They put onto Game Pass The Legend of Mana, which is a classic RPG from Square Enix. When Square was awesome. Square back in the Squaresoft days. And they also put Visions of Mana onto Game Pass on the day as well. So I've downloaded them, not played them yet, but I'm looking forward to playing them because the Manor games are awesome. And the other game they put on there, which I played with Marcus on a little bit of co-op, is a game called All You Need Is Help.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a kind of fun party game, kind of fair.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. So basically, there's 4 characters and all different shapes, and you've got to solve puzzles on these levels and plonk yourself down in the overall shape, if that makes sense. It's really fun, but when you're playing 2-player, you control 2 characters each. So one character's on the left thumbstick and the right character's on the right thumbstick. And then you have the D-pad for the actions of the one character and then your face buttons for the other character. So it's like getting your brain to sync with the 2 characters on the different thumbsticks.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really good. It's really, really good. So, just wanted to give that game a quick shout out. Next game that they showed off is Metaphor Fantasio. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Is this the one they put a demo out on, or was it something else?
Yes, yeah, a demo for this is out now, and the game's actually out within the next couple of weeks.
You played the demo, didn't you?
I haven't, actually. I have it downloaded, but I haven't had enough time to play it yet.
So I'm the same.
But then again, I think it's one of those ones where it's like play the beginning of the game and then your save carries on. But usually with those type of games, if they're not going to give you like some bonus for completing the demo and carrying your save, I usually just start it, see the first sort of 5 minutes or so and just think, no, I'll wait until I've actually got the game.
Yeah. So this is the one that's made by the Persona people, isn't it?
Yes.
It's pretty much a carbon copy of Persona from what I've seen, but with a different name. Looks cool,
Completely different story and stuff, yeah. It's interesting, looks interesting.
But all the art style is pretty much exactly the same. The combat system looks exactly the same.
I think that is actually a Game Pass game as well.
Is it?
I believe it is. Double check it, but I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm not sure it is, to be honest. Let me check my coming soon. It's not on my coming soon to Game Pass. So I don't think, but I definitely downloaded the demo. But let me just check my app while I'm on the PC. No, pre-order £60 it says. But it looks cool. So there's that. Another game I'm looking forward to, and this is the first time one of these games has come to Xbox, actually. I think Xbox is really trying to push the JRPGs now, which is fantastic. Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories. So basically the Atelier franchise is a long-standing JRPG series where the games have traditionally always come out on PlayStation for the consoles and also on PC. I've never actually played an Atelier game, but they've always looked like the sort of RPGs that I'd want to play.
They are quite different because they're all generally about like alchemy and stuff.
Yeah. So actually,
crafting materials, potions.
Have you played one of these before?
I have the 3 previous ones, the Riser series, Atelier Riser.
Yeah. Do those carry on? Because I've actually downloaded Riser free to play. Would I have to play 1 and 2 first?
No, I mean, you'll get an idea because the same characters are throughout that trilogy, which is actually kind of cool. Similar to, obviously, the Trials of Cold Steel. You generally follow a group of people.
Yeah.
So they're usually, most games are generally crafted in the fact that you could just jump in with no knowledge of the prior.
Yes.
But if you have, then you'll get more out of it.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to, obviously, you'll know, like Final Fantasy 14 or something.
Yeah,
like if you skip to a certain thing and just missed a bunch of the story, you'd lose out on quite a bit, but you could still play through and understand what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that made it look interesting to me is the combat. It looks like that turn-based type combat that I really enjoy in a JRPG.
Yeah, it has been, yeah.
Really nice art style, good-looking characters with huge tits. I mean, what isn't there to love?
I wouldn't say the Atelier games are like that.
No, I'm just
particularly.
Yeah,
it'd sell better if they did.
yeah. But no, it looks good because I love a good JRPG, and it is a series that I think
there is another turn-based JRPG coming out within the next few weeks as well.
Oh, is there?
Romancing Saga 2.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Which is on my watch list, or not necessarily watch list, but on my radar.
Yeah.
So you got 3 good sort of RPG-ish kind of games. You've got the Sword Art Online out next week or the week after.
Yeah.
And then the following week's that Metaphor. And then I think a week or 2 weeks after that is Romancing Saga 2.
I'm not going to have time to play all these games. I'm still behind as it is on my RPGs.
You could be as behind as me if you want.
Oh, my goodness. I've got a podcast to fucking run here. I've got to be with the latest and greatest, but I'm failing in that recently. Oh, dear. So, but no, this, I really like the look of this, to be fair, so.
Is that an early next year as well? Is it like a January? I think that might be a January game next year.
Okay. Yeah. But no,
is that the one that had the demo available today as well?
No, that might have been Metaphor, unless that's got one now as well.
Metaphor, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this Atelier game. So that's awesome. What was the next one? This looks like I'm sure this is off an anime. I think Darren might be able to tell us more. Bleach Rebirth of Souls Reawakening.
Yeah, from manga anime.
Yeah, I think I've heard Evan mention this donkeys ago.
Again, it's one on my radar. I don't expect it to be amazing, but I expect it to be good enough.
Yeah.
Because it's the tradition. I don't know why it's kind of frustrating if you're an anime fan. All of the fighting games are just arena fighters, like 95% of the time.
Wow, yeah.
And they generally sort of all place very similar to each other.
Yeah.
And some of them are actually like pretty sort of like, what is this? Like feels like a cash-in.
But no, I only mention it because obviously I know that it's an anime, but it's like it does look like a fighting game, doesn't it? As you say, so I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah.
Got a nice selection of characters and stuff in it as well.
Nice.
I believe.
Cool. Right. Oh yes. So Suikoden remasters, remakes, whatever they are, have been pushed back to the 6th of March.
I'm not sure annoying as hell how they announced these that'll be 3 years since they announced them. It's 2022. Yeah. I think he tried to explain. I was like half paying attention. I think basically they've done a lot more translation and updates to what works today compared to then, and blah blah whatever. So they're doing more than just a reskin. So
well, the game is called HD Remaster. So
I think it's one of those where you can press a button and flop between the two.
Right. Okay.
Also, so maybe that's what they've done, but
yeah, bit annoying, but we want it to come out right, not half-baked like many other games do, so.
Well, yeah, a remake of a 30-year-old game, you don't want it to run like crap. Like, what was that? I think that was Chrono Cross HD. That came out, and that ran worse than, like, the PS1 version.
Oh, dear.
Like, the frame rate kept stuttering. And then about a year later, they did an update which fixed it all.
Wow.
I'm like, oh. I bought it then, so it's good.
Yeah, wowzers. Cool. Okay, moving on then. Game that does look really interesting. Slitterhead.
Yes, looks.
I haven't actually seen the latest showing for this, I must admit, but I did see the previous trailer, and it's a game I'm interested in just because of the people that are sort of like working on it.
Yeah.
And then being loosely connected in a way to Tango Gameworks.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the city looks really nice from the video that they showed, very vibrant with the lighting, shall we say, the neon lights in the night time. And it's just like a really weird game concept. I think we've mentioned this before, where you're like an entity and you move from person to person. So like the actual person's body's kind of disposable. You know, we saw it like where like
just using people as like tools to get further through the environment and stuff.
Yeah. And the enemies look really fucked up as well. Like something out of your worst nightmares. But yeah, it looks interesting, man. It's definitely a game I'm keeping an eye on. Doing something different to the norm, you know? So, yeah. What did you think, Nick? Did you see the trailer for this?
Yeah, that's the one I thought looked right up Darren Street. It looks okay. I will probably buy it when it's 20 quid and play it in 15 years.
Excellent. That's what we like. Cool. What's the next one? I need to remind myself on this one. There was a trailer for a game called The Starbites. Basically, it's like a cartoony looking game and you take control of like robots. Do you guys remember this trailer? I am streaming it at the moment as well. No?
Strangely enough, as I was flicking through stuff, I was just got to that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like the combat looks like it's turn-based, you know. Interesting kind of cartoony art style.
Oh yeah, I did see the trailer for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks all right. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks interesting because you're like these characters, but you take control of these robots, a bit like mechs. Yeah, but smaller than the mechs we've played.
And that's what made me think of Xenogears and stuff because. It's very similar. The interesting thing about Xenogears is you had two different types of turn-based combat that was in the game. You had when you were in a mech suit and when you weren't in a mech suit.
And
the combat controls were like slightly different as well for your attacks and things. Obviously the combos, because you could do combo strings. You'd basically be given like a set amount of points, and then each one of your options is a cost of a certain amount of points, and you could string them together as long as they didn't go over a certain amount to perform combo moves that would sometimes lead into special moves and things like that.
Okay.
And it was turn-based as well, so...
So this might make for some really cool combat then, I think. And as I say, like in this trailer, it showed you like going around kind of a world map type area, getting into some battles, but then it had like a third person walking around like a city hub area as well. So it looks quite cool. It's definitely one to keep an eye on, and that's, I think, exclusive to Xbox and PC from the looks of things as well. So, yeah. Awesome. Okay, not many left to go. Oh no, it's the last one because I talked about everything else. I might, unless I've missed anything. They showed off the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. A game I've never played originally, and this looks pretty nice from what they've done with the art style, to be honest. What do you think? It looks like a grand adventure to me.
Yeah, this game's actually had a little bit of controversy online because it's been censored for the modern audience.
What's exactly has been censored?
Well, I think the thing that most people are annoyed about is the fact that they've kind of altered Akira Toriyama's designs for the characters.
Oh, okay, what covered up some areas
just covered up pointless areas that are just kind of like, oh, there's a bit of leg or something, and it's like, it's it's not a nipple, is it? Fuck you on about? Like, bizarre. Who did anyone show off? Because obviously there's been a load of other trailers that have gone up sort of here and there over the time as different companies unveil their stuff at their own shows. Death Stranding 2's actually had some stuff go up because there there was a presentation today.
I had no idea about this.
So this is where the new Death Stranding 2 stuff. I'm probably going to watch it after the podcast.
That was a 20-minute gameplay demo.
I haven't played Death Stranding 1 yet.
So that was Double Dragon Revive, had a TGS 2024 trailer.
Double Dragon Revive.
It looks fucking awesome. Like,
is it? Okay.
It does look really good. Like, they've actually done... When I was like, oh, here we go, this is going to be horrendous. And then as I was watching it, I was like, no, this looks like it plays really well and it could be a lot of fun.
Oh, Peebs will be all over this.
Yeah, it's just done well, I think. Like I like the style to it. It is Double Dragon, but it's like evolved a little bit.
Yeah, it looks a lot faster than the originals, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously it's going to be 2-player as well, I imagine. They're just obviously showing off the single-player bit there with Jimmy or Billy, is it? The two characters.
Jimmy Lee gameplay. This is, yeah. Oh, wow. I haven't been keeping down. I haven't been keeping up with all the news then, have I? Because I didn't know anything about this.
But this is the thing. Games like this, which is... Like, people will look at something like this and be like, ooh, and it'd be like, this used to be what I'd pay for a full-price game.
Yeah, yeah.
These kind of games. Like, not all games need to be like you say, the 40-hour epic type of adventure game, because if every game's like that, it just gets boring.
Yeah, yeah.
And these games are now kind of relegated to sort of like the cheaper £20 something market or being indie or whatever. You very rarely get them. I mean, Arc System Works are involved.
Yeah.
I think it's actually been made by Ukes, just to look there. Ukes, who I think used to make the SmackDown games.
Yeah, they did, yeah. Wow, I didn't even think they were still going. Wowzers. Oh, cool. Oh, looks good. Any other news I've missed? Anything else?
There's been some other... Wasn't Regeneration... I haven't seen that trailer, but I'm sure that was at the Xbox show.
Regeneration.
I think he might have talked about that one.
Regeneration official announcement. And then... No, this doesn't look familiar to me. It must have been at something out.
Yeah, there was also... Do you remember that Infinity Nikki game?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, almost an hour-long presentation they did at TGS as well.
Oh, wow. I've got a lot catching up to do in TGS then. Yeah, wow. That's awesome.
Well, these are just generally the developers sitting down and watching stuff, but
nice.
It is nice that they actually do that. Oh, there's some weird stuff going on with Mark of the Wolves or whatever it is, the new Fatal Fury.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's been recently allowed, what's it, that Ryu and Chun-Li are going to be in it.
Okay.
Which is like, yeah, that's I get it, but that's 2 character slots gone. And for me, like I've spoken before, the original Mark of the Wolves had the worst character roster in a Fatal Fury game.
Right, okay.
As far as I'm concerned when it comes to the character designs and stuff. And also, apparently Cristiano Ronaldo's been tweeting stuff about the game.
Oh, right.
And saying something like a reveal's coming and people are thinking Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be a character in it.
I'm just God.
Please, no. That would just be the epitome of, like, what the fuck, I was interested, but now, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Wow.
So, but...
Cool. Well, we've been going.
There was a Capcom show as well. I haven't watched anything to do with that. Yeah, there was a Capcom thing and stuff. So there's probably been a few news about that. Probably Monster Hunter mainly.
We'll have to do some catching up on this stuff we've missed for next week. Then I think. Okay, so we've been about 2 hours now. Did you want to talk about any games you've played?
Oh yeah, I want to talk about briefly. If we're just going to talk about a game,
go for it.
Space Marine 2.
Oh, I've played it as well.
I've finished it. I've finished it.
Did you do
It's
it all on your
obviously not
own or in co-op? Or...
No, I played it in co-op.
Oh, who with? Anyone I know?
With my mate Rage Out on PlayStation.
Nice.
Matt.
And how did you enjoy it?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just kind of like playing through an enjoyable cinematic experience that's just fun, old school fun.
Yeah.
Like I will say the last level of the game is just like perfect.
Okay.
When you get there, I was just kind of like, this is like the music, what's going on? Like, holy shit, this is great.
Yeah.
Smile on my face.
Excellent.
It gives me a great lot of hope of what the actual game could be further down the line.
Yeah.
Because they've set up another game after this one.
Oh, really?
Which
that's
I
awesome.
think they're hopefully going to get, because I think this has been pretty well received.
Yeah,
I think it's done pretty well. Good. But I've now just got into the part where you do the operations, the co-op operations.
Yeah,
I think you can play them solo as well if you wish. Maybe, I don't know. But that's where you obviously select a class.
Oh, okay.
And you go in and you do separate missions that are occurring at the same time as the missions in the story, but you're playing a separate squad, doing a completely separate goal. So when you're playing through the campaign, you might hear like, oh, so-and-so squad has taken out such and such. You play that mission. Like, it's almost like extending the campaign in a really interesting, cool way, and also giving you character classes that you can play through, level up, unlock stuff for different armor outfits and abilities and stuff like that. There's like a perk tree and other bits.
Yeah.
And in XP, I was thoroughly loving it. And when I was like, some of these customizations look awesome, like that's fantastic. And my mate was like, yeah, they're separate for each class as well. I was like, oh, fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, because I've been playing it, but not as much as you. I'm on like only like the third mission, but graphically, it's absolutely stunning.
It's just boggling at times, like how reasonably good it. Like the stylization and the, it almost has everything you want. That like the package of the atmosphere, the kind of feel it wants, the look, etc.
Yeah. And I say the gameplay's really fun.
Space Marines.
Sorry?
So basically Gears of War, but like Space Marines.
Pretty much. But
sort
without the cover system.
It doesn't have a cover system because you're just a tank, in theory. But it is slow, but it's slow because it would be. If that makes sense.
The heavy armour,
The heavy armour, the big heavy swords that I absolutely adored using the Warhammer.
Yeah.
The two-handed Warhammer. And the gunplay as well, it's all just like thick, heavy look.
Yeah. I will say though, they could do with giving you more ammo.
Yeah, there has been moments in the game where that does occur. But then after the fight, I might be like, I'm out of ammo, and mate's like, yeah, there's an ammo crate over here in the corner. And I'm like, now I know.
Yeah. I imagine it's a lot more fun in co-op as well, so I've been playing it all single player.
Yeah, I mean, the single-player campaign is great. There might be certain areas that might become slightly frustrating because you're asked to basically, you need to deal with this getting attacked while you're also getting attacked.
Yeah.
And it can become slightly overwhelming. Obviously, with multiple of you or whatever, you can get people to cover your back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind just sitting back and tagging enemies with rounds until they turn red so people can perform finishes on them for the other people that are up ahead, because it's like, you might as well get some armour back. I'm sat back here. I'm all right. I'll knock them up. You take them down.
Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it's a great game, and it's definitely a throwback, I think, to that 360 era of video games where it's just go in and just fuck shit up. And because of my initial impression was, oh no, is it going to be more like, is it just going to be very samey? But from like the more I've played of it, and I say I'm not even halfway in, I'm actually like, I've just had a smile on my face as I've been playing it. It's just fun.
I will say maybe it's also down to the fact that when I've been playing it, I've generally been playing it like a level a day or
you've
2 levels a day or something. I haven't been just like hammering it.
Yeah.
So it's like every time I boot it back up and I'm going through a level and shit's going on, I'm like, holy shit, like, this is pretty cool.
Nice. Cool, man. Nick, is there any game you wanted to mention today?
Not really. I mean, it's just the usual games. I mean, you know what I've been playing, but I'll save that for next week.
All right. Well, I wanted to mention just 2 brand new games that have come out this week that I've been playing. One of them's on Game Pass PC only, and that's Frostpunk 2.
Is this a city manager or something like that?
Yeah. It's really cool. Like I never played the first Frostpunk, and I know that's on console as well. And it is, and initially I was a little bit like, oh, what is this? Because like the tutorial's a bit shit, to be honest, and it's really hard to figure out how to do really simple things. But it's done in a way that I like, where it's done in chapters. So it's actually kind of like a vague story to it. So basically, it's London, which obviously being British, I like. It's New London, but the world's become a desolate, frozen wasteland, and you're in the ruins of New London, and basically you got to expand your city but keep everyone warm, because if you don't keep people warm, they die. And
it's also the isn't that the one with the centre of the city is basically the hub, and then the further out it gets, everyone gets colder, obviously.
Well, you can do, but then there's a way to mitigate that.
Moving the heat and stuff.
But the main thing you got to do is manage your resources. So you got to gather, like, have places to get food, like make farms. But the main objective really is to get a fuel to generate your heat and your power, right? So you start off and it's all coal, so you got to figure out where the coal is. Well, you can tell where the coal is, and so basically you can't just go to anywhere on the map because it's all frozen. So you got to send these vehicles out to get rid of the ice. So it's just snow, and then once it's snowy, so the machines are called frost breakers. So you send them out, and they take a bit of time, and then it breaks the frost, and then you can build your stuff on that area, if that makes sense, right? So a lot of it's the fuel, and I've actually played it quite a lot this week. So I've gotten to a point where I'm on like chapter 4 or 5 now, and I've gone from like kind of that coal age to the oil age. So I know I can gather oil. I've got more than one city on the go now. I've got like, so basically the story moves on. I'm not going to ruin it, but you do get another city to manage. So you're managing 2, but then you can set up trade between them for resources, and it gets very complicated. But there's also a lot of politics in it. So there's like these 4 factions which you've got to keep happy within the world. And so you got like people that are very traditional, and they don't like change, but then you got like the people that do like change, and you're trying to manage, stuff in the, like there's like a court, like a parliament, and you make votes. So you got to try and appease certain factions to make votes go your way. So it's actually quite a deep game, to be quite honest with you.
Tropico, or whatever it is.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely loving this game because like that management part of it, it gets really deep, like with how many people you have. You've got to have enough housing. You've got to have enough different, like, so you need enough energy. So basically you need to be bringing in more energy than what you're using, or people are going to get cold. Then you need to make sure you've got enough factories making stuff for people. Otherwise, they're not going to be happy, and then they'll live in poverty and all this bollocks as well. And then you got another part of it where you like build these places which are like expedition things. So then you send people out into the wilderness to investigate the world map, and then other sections of the world map open up, and you can discover other people or more resources and stuff like that, and it gets quite complicated but very in depth.
Surely there must be times when you like bump it. It's like, oh, we found another group of people. Oh, nice. Oh, they're hostile.
There's none of this. So it's not one of those games like Age of Empires where there's fighting. Command, because it's not anything like that. But it's like they'll say, "Oh, we're not going to move to your city or help you out until you discover like a more efficient resource or something that's better for the planet or something like that," right? So then it's like you got to wait till later in the game, and then you go back and then you get them, and you set up trade routes between people and things like that. It's a really intricate game, and I didn't think it would be as in depth as what it is, but it's very, when like the only thing I will say is like when you start it, it's really complicated. I had to spend a couple of hours just watching YouTube guides on just how to play the game, like really simple things. I thought
you was about to say you spend a couple of hours before you actually get into the game, and I was like, oh, so it's a Japanese game.
No, so it's basically like something really simple. Like I'll go on to chapter 2 where it gets a bit more difficult, and it's like you need to start the engine on the, on the main generator. I was like, I don't even know how to fucking do that, because it doesn't tell you. So then you have to I had to go to a YouTube guide to show me how to bloody do that. And then once you know how to do things, it becomes more like, oh, right, okay, so that's where that menu is. That's where this menu is, etc., etc. Nothing's easy, but I found myself getting really sucked into it because it does have like a vague backstory to it, and there is choices that you make that affect the game, and I can imagine the chapters would be very different. And that's what I like about it. You're kind of left to your own devices to do what you want to do, but it's that there's like a backstory kind of there, and there is an end type of goal, because basically what happens is in each chapter you're working towards like stockpiling food, stockpiling fuel and stuff like that, like resources, because at a point in the chapter there's going to be this thing called a whiteout, and a whiteout is a section of time where it gets really freezing cold. So basically it's the coldest like it is in the game, and that's when you need to have your resources, because during a whiteout, people can't gather the resources and stuff like that, so you need to have it stockpiled, and you need to have enough fuel for the generator to generate that extra heat, because the colder it is, the more fuel you're using. It's just a really interesting game, and I really can't wait for this to hit console, and I know it will, because the first game's on console, for more people to play it, because it's really, really deep. It really is. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it, and I don't generally play these games, and I just found myself really hooked on it this week. So yeah, if you've got PC, check it out. Cool. And the other game that I've played, the last game I just want to mention, I only bought it a couple of days ago, so I've not played it much, but my initial impressions are absolutely amazing. This game is amazing, and it is many people's game of the year. Finally purchased it, Black Myth Wukong. Only on PC and PlayStation. Not sure when it's coming to Xbox. And as I say, come out about a month ago, and it's a lot of people's game of the year. A lot of people are comparing it to a Dark Souls type game, and I can kind of see where they get that impression from, but I would say it's only kind of Dark Souls in spirit in a weird way. So far, I don't think it's as hard as a Dark Souls Elden Ring type game. But the similarities are basically instead of the bonfires from like a one of the Dark Souls games, there's these like the Chinese shrines, and you've got to burn incense at the shrine, and then if you rest there, all the enemies will respawn. So obviously that's very similar to, you know, a Dark Souls type game. You only get a certain amount of like health regeneration in your little flask, and that fills up at the shrine. And the combat is kind of similar, but a lot faster because you're this monkey character, the Monkey King, Chinese mythology. I think Darren knows a lot more about that than I do. But yeah, the combat's very fast and fluid, but it has that lock-on like Dark Souls. But everything else about the combat is just so much quicker. And what I'm finding about it is each enemy type has their own kind of move set, and then very much like a Dark Souls, Demon Souls type game, you get to know what the move sets are of these characters, like the normal grunts, shall we say, and then you can easily defeat them because you know the way. But the bosses are very tough, to be fair. But once you know,
it's basically it's the similar thing to Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
like each of the monsters you face all have certain attack patterns and things that you learn and memorize, and little tells the monster does just before it does a certain move or goes into a certain mode.
Yeah, but my initial impressions on the graphics are wow, absolutely gorgeous. And what I really like about it is there's not really any HUD, so there's no waypoints. I'm telling you where to go. You just got to explore the areas. They're kind of semi-open world, so there's lots of different ways you can go. From what I've been reading online, there's actually like in each area there's like hidden bosses, so you could like go to the next area and completely miss stuff as well.
Just because you didn't decide to go right, instead you went straight ahead.
Yeah. So like it really rewards you for that exploration, which I think is really cool. But no, I'm really digging the story at the minute because it's about gods and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. The moves, like your move set's really fast and fluid. The hard attack, which is on the Y button, because I'm playing on PC with an Xbox controller. It took a while to get used to because you kind of hold it down, and then when you let go of it, it still takes him a couple of seconds to wind up his move, so you got to kind of like really know your timing for that. But the X button, which is your like kind of fast hit button, like it's just like boom, 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 like you got the stick and you're fucking hitting really fast, and then you got your B button for your dodge and your A for jump, and you can kind of like meld the button presses together, kind of like a Street Fighter style, like combos, and pull off some really cool combos and parry moves and dodging and stuff like that. It's like the combat's really fun, really, really fun. I will say that. But what I'm loving about it most is just kind of that I'd say the graphics are amazing, but just that exploration of the world, because it's just so gorgeous and so well made. That I'm just really like my initial impressions at the minute. So I've only played a few hours. Are really positive on this game, and I kind of wish I didn't hold out on it because I know it's been out a month, and everyone who's played it has said to me, "Mate, this is my game of the year. It is absolutely amazing." At the minute, I'd say it's still going to take a lot to beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for me for game of the year, but at the minute, this is a very polished, very well made game with a lot of challenge to it as well. You know, it's not a walk in the park.
It was rebuilt at one point as well.
Wow. But
it was originally being made in Unreal 4. And then they scrapped it and moved to Unreal 5.
Wow. But no, I mean, from what I've seen a couple of comments online of people saying that they're finding it really hard. But so far to me, like, yes, it's hard, but I don't think it's as hard as Elden Ring or Dark Souls, to be fair. I just think it has a decent amount of challenge. And then if you can kind of figure out those patterns, you're you're golden. You know what I mean? So
has it got easy modes?
it has no difficulty modes at all. Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. But
I say that, but I found Lies of P really forgiving.
Yeah.
Personally, for those kind of games, because everything just feels so snappy and responsive.
Yeah.
Even though some of the main difficulty from that game derives from the fact you're fighting mechs. They don't move like people. They've got like very strange movements to them and like pauses between certain attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it made the fights a bit unpredictable. But with any of those games, you can understand why they kind of don't necessarily have a difficulty.
Yeah, because they want people just to play the game as they made it and just to figure it out, you know?
And there are ways around it. There always generally has been with certain things.
Yeah.
It's just nice if you actually come across the games where you literally don't feel cheated if you make a mistake.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There was this one, I think he's a boss. He's got like a really big, like, head. And he fucking stomped me in like 2 hits. But, you know, kind of figured it out in the end. I kept on running away and coming back and stuff. It took me ages, but I finally beat him just by taking it slow and being methodical, not being in a rush, you know? But I'm surprised you've not picked this up, Darren.
I'm not buying a code in a box.
Oh, is this not on disc on the PlayStation?
It was originally planned to release on disc.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't get the discs manufactured in time. So they just ended up selling like a code in a box.
Oh.
And
a lot of us
are actually waiting for the announcement for it to hit disc. It probably will eventually, but it will just take longer.
That is really shitty because you'd love this.
Oh, I know. It's a game I've been looking forward to, but it was one of them ones I was never too sure whether it was ever going to come out physical anyway.
Right.
But as we've been talking, there's so much to play.
There is. Because I know we like sometimes moan there's no fucking games or anything. I've been this week I've been sitting there thinking, fucking hell, there's loads of games. And my backlog is huge.
I must admit, seeing some of the news from some of the games at TGS has got me quite happy.
Yeah.
With what's coming up, whereas there's been other times where I'm like, what's actually coming out, for crying out loud?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like further down the line, outside of a couple of things you know about.
Yeah. But no, this Black Myth Wukong's really good. I only bought it because CD Keys had it at quite a good price in the week. It was like 36 quid or something. And I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to drop the money and buy it because everyone's banging on about how good it is. So fuck this, I'm just going to get it. So yeah, I haven't regretted it so far.
You've literally had like Black Myth Wukong and Space Marine 2 launch within like the same month. That's a pretty good month.
And don't forget Test Drive. I've been loving Test Drive as well.
You still playing it then?
Yes, I'm still playing it, but I didn't think I'd really...
You have to log in for daily bonuses and stuff, or does it not have that at least?
It has dailies you can do, but I've not been on for a few days because obviously I've been playing these other games and I've been kind of waiting. They've got a huge patch tomorrow.
Oh, good.
So I've been kind of like not playing it that much this week just because I've been waiting for the patch.
Speaking of patches, they did release a patch this week for the First Descendant.
Nice.
Which allows you to do the invasion missions co-op.
Oh, wicked. That's cool.
They're still complete dog shit. Like, in co-op, even when you're sort of going through them, you're just thinking to yourself, like, who came up with this?
Yeah.
It boggles the mind. Like, I think that was a big, like, wake-up call of, like, oh, hang on a minute. Because they lost a lot of their players, like, when the season dropped.
Yeah.
Everyone went in, it's like, right, what you got then? Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Just back on Black Myth, though. I just want to say I'm really enjoying it. So a big thank you to Turner in the community for kept on spamming the Discord how good it was. And my mate Dave picked up and he was telling me how good it was. But I still think it's a bit sad news about the Xbox release being delayed indefinitely because of the Series S.
Is that actually been confirmed now?
Well, that was pretty much the news, the rumoured news at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still rumoured, yeah. I always still took it with a pinch of salt. I just thought they were just going to be working on it. But, yeah, if it might not even be the Series S, because does it still have to work on the original Xbox One as well?
Well, it's not on PS4, is it? So, no, I wouldn't have thought... No, it wouldn't do. Because I just think, like, really good games like this, you know, everyone should get that opportunity to play, you know, and it just annoys me when... It's like when with Square doing, like, the Final Fantasy games just on the PlayStation. I'm just like, you're a third-party company, just fucking put it out on everything. You know, it's a great... Look, from what I've played, it's really, really cool. So I just really love more people to get that opportunity to give it a go. So... I'll be talking about it more next week.
If I can randomly go for Lies of P and it end up being my game of the year.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you'd love this, you know. So, yeah, I'll talk about it more next week anyway, because I've not really played it loads, but I just wanted to give let people know initial impressions are very positive. So, and I'll probably be picking up that Sword Art game next week as well. Fucking hell, too many games. I'm going to have no money. Ooh. Cool. On that note, guys, unless there's anything else you really want to talk about, I think we could save other games played for next week, if that's okay.
Oh, there was some more PlayStation news. They're bringing out the Chrome PlayStation 5 controllers.
Yes.
Cool,
like Chrome coloured, yeah.
Yeah, the Chrome coloured ones, but I think...
Oh, not actual Chrome ones. I was going to say, like, controllers are bad enough for fingerprints anyway nowadays.
Yeah, shiny plastic.
It's the Chroma collection, isn't it?
Yeah, which they did on... I think they've done on PS3, 4 and 5 so far, I think.
They also announced the Fortnite controller, didn't they?
Ooh, exciting.
They seem to be taking a lot of inspiration from Xbox when it comes to controllers.
Yeah.
And all the PS4 like stuff, the PS1 anniversary stuff sold out in seconds because they even had controllers.
Yeah.
Which I thought, oh, that looks nice. But yeah, because they done that thing where they didn't tell anyone when they were going to put the pre-orders up, so a lot of people got mad and make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because they were all just scalped somehow, and I think, well, how do the bots get like 10 of them, but people in queues can't get any of them?
Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, it should have been like... they obviously were, I imagine, limited to one per customer.
No.
Unless it was the controller where you might be able to have ordered two. But even then, they obviously have a series of bots or whatever lined up, don't they? Just buying multiple.
But they're doing it deliberately, like manufacturing not many of them, so they get marked up and people talk about it and stuff. And hey, I mean, I saw like the video, like if someone's got shitloads of money and they don't care and they want it and they're happy to pay $5,000 for one on eBay, good on them. If they're doing that good, buy me one too.
Yeah.
I just like the coloured face buttons. I like
that is the weird thing, because obviously during COVID there was that huge shortage, wasn't there, of like Xboxes and PS5s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think
quite some time.
Sell more than what they thought they were going to sell because people wanted them. So every time they made them, they just sold out really quickly.
And everyone was stuck at home during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, on that note, guys, unless there's anything else pressing, I think we should end it here. It's been awesome. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming on. It's been great. So from myself, Darren and Nick, thank you very much for listening live on Twitch. Thank you very much to all the patrons for keeping the show going. And big thank you to everyone else for listening. So from all of us here, it's been awesome. We will see you next week. Goodbye.